From Osaka, Japan, this is Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. I'm Lou Burris.
And I'm Chase Sparling-Beckley.
Chase, only one game left in the tournament, the Open Division Finals. We've got the expected, Team USA, and we've got Cinderella, Great Britain.
And this Great Britain squad is coming into this game, I think, in a wonderful mental state. They've had a difficult run up to this tournament. They've played a lot of European competition and not had very favorable results, even losing in London
to Clapham.
A squad that donated several of their better players to this team. They lost a European competition. They had some hiccups early. And what that brought about for them was this feeling that coming into this tournament, they were an underdog.
And they had something to prove.
They had something to prove, and as a young team that plays fiery defense, that is such a brilliant place to build your psyche around. They faltered, though, when they got into the semis and found a matchup against Sweden in a game that I think everybody favored Great Britain.
Including the Great British team. They felt that they were expected to win that game.
And it just reversed the pressure on them. Now, coming into the final, after having knocked off Sweden narrowly in a double game point battle.
Can we talk about that double game point for a second?
Please.
Sweden doing a great job to control Great Britain's tempo with zone. Really controversial coaching decision to play man on game point and give the British, Justin Ford in particular, big number 28, a chance to get out and run the field. An easy final possession for Great Britain.
And Great Britain gets it done when they need to, even though the pressure's on them. Now they come into the finals against the heavily favored United States. And for them, this feels like exactly where they want to be. They're going to run. They're going to gun. You're going to see huge athletic plays. They're going to be all over the disc on defense. They feel great about that underdog status.
But they're going to have to play better than they have to win this game. And one place that you and I saw where they could improve is in getting some consistent and steady offensive play from the American import Jolyon Dahl.
Yeah, Jolyon has made a lot of big plays for this team.
Made big plays.
He is confident. He lays out huge. He gets way up. He's scored goals for them. And then on the flip side, sometimes we've seen from him kind of inconsistent throwing choices.
He let Corono get that run-by block on him.
Blocks on him every once in a while. This needs to be just a showcase for Jolyon Dahl. He is an anchor on this team in terms of helping them bring that kind of fire and intensity. He needs to have a clean sheet at the end of this game.
Team USA, they come in undefeated. They've had some close games against Australia, against Canada, and really have yet to put together a complete body of work for a game. Finally, I felt in the Canada game, they played the kind of lockdown D that they're capable of, just saying, we've got the athletes, you go out there and shut down your guy.
Definitely we saw finally that defense that Revolver is known for, but the offensive side of the disc for them has still not been very clean. We have seen them complete hucks. We have not seen that picture-perfect huck to space for a receiver with steps running on, and the huck is just low and fast and nice and hits the guy in the chest the way that I think I expected, certainly, coming into this. They've come up with some of those jump balls thrown to their big guys, but I just don't feel like you can count on this against the type of swarming, tall, lanky defense that you're going to see here from Britain. And so coming up with an answer to the question of how to connect on their hucks is going to be just something that's a big question mark looming over the Team USA offense today in this final game.
And also, at times, surprisingly inconsistent play from some of the big names for Team USA. Cahill has played awesome, but he's made some mistakes. Watson, Kittredge, they've played awesome. They've made some mistakes. I think a key player here for the U.S., is number 40, Mac Taylor. He's an anchor handler on the D-line for them. In the semifinals, he had some big unforced errors on Hux, just kind of reaching too far. I know he's struggling with a little bit of a knee injury. He's got a bruised knee.
And that can be the kind of thing for a player who is such a sure hand. Just that little bit of tweak can get them out of their rhythm throwing. We'll see today if he can overcome that injury and bring the kind of defensive pressure that he's known for, but also be steady on offense.
And here he is, Mac Taylor with the pull. Opening point, men's finals. USA, Gibert with the disc. Dropped right away. McDowell. Ashlyn Joy.
And here's a chance for USA to set the tone.
Joy. Levy. Flat stack still. Canner on the inside, flip, Cochran. Great break by Ashlyn Joy to set up Canner.
Very,
1-0.
very, very clean offense by the T team there for Team USA.
Absolutely terrible start for Great Britain.
Nerves.
Nerves. McDowell just, Gibert kind of has a little bit of trouble feeling the pull. And then McDowell just, uncontested drop there. Big crowd here.
Britain did really well there to
Sure
put
would.
on tight defense.
Yep.
After that unforced turn.
Joy.
You know, it took Ashlyn Joy throwing really a beautiful inside out to Canner.
Right here, Japanese style, and the easy finish.
But credit Great Britain recognizing that this is, in a lot of ways, going to be a D contest.
Yeah.
And with a short field, their backs against the wall, they do bring a D that forces Team USA to throw a lot of passes. If they're going to have any chance here, those kinds of transition switches are going to be key for them.
And the wind has picked up after a really still morning for the women's and mixed finals. The wind is coming out of the north. Different wind from what we've seen here earlier this week. Furnell just misses Gibert. Terrible start for Great Britain. Sherwood, foul by
called.
Furnell. Sherwood, Casino. Matt Taylor defended by Ford. Great matchup. Canner. Kawoka, well defended by Gibert. Sherwood. Taylor, defended by Ford. Looks around, great mark by Ford, dropping off high in the count.
Some kind of call here. I think maybe fast count.
I really like that mark by Ford. Really smart as Mac Taylor tries to get off that backhand around. He drops out away, keeps Mac Taylor from drawing a foul. Great defensive pressure from Britain. The defense looks great.
We haven't even seen the offense
They
yet.
have yet to complete a pass. Floater, everybody gets to play. Sherwood. Call here.
I think a contested stall.
Captain Scone steps in to help his young star. Here's the floater. Great get by Mark Sherwood.
And Mac did well there to just give him a chance.
Yeah. If that is a contested stall, I don't see how that can come back. 2 seconds, surely that's enough time to just pivot and throw a backhand.
You can see how windy it is here with the jerseys on the field flapping around.
Taylor to Kawoka. Travis. Gibert.
And there you see a little bit, that's not a terrible throw necessarily, but just enough float. Great Britain brings 2 defenders.
Gibert and Dathan both in there.
That's something I think we're going to see all game.
Mobbing the disc.
Just mobbing the disc.
The wind is coming through a little hole in the stands, between the end zone stands and the sideline stands. It's making conditions in that end zone very strange. Ford versus Taylor, short throw. Wind really affecting that huck. Taylor. Kawoka, great break by Taylor. Huge huck by Kawoka, not his usual role. Chapman, great body work by Chapman. Defended by Dathan, looks for Sherwood. Reset to Sherwood. On the goal line for the break, Casino. Offense resets, Sherwood. Poach from Schumacher. Now settles in to cover Canner. Sherwood. Tough D from Gale, but broken to Kawoka. What a break by Mark Sherwood. USA 2, Great Britain 0. Tough mark here. What a forehand.
We talked about this before when we covered Team USA. Mark Sherwood has an unorthodox look to the way he throws that forehand, but it does 2 things for him. One, he can get it so far away from his body on that inside out. He's not the quick drop down inside out under your arm thrower. He's just a big lanky guy that gets a long way from the mark. The other thing that it helps him do really well, I think that we'll see later in this Team USA D team's offense, is he does throw and go with it. That's really great, where he actually can lift, not his pivot foot, but his other leg as he's throwing that kind of high release flick, and he's already running as he releases it.
A great adjustment by Team USA in that windy north end zone. Did you notice all their resets were just little 2-3 yard shovels?
Kind of going upwind?
Yeah, and then Canner did use the upwind to shelf that little backhand to Sherwood at the end, but those safe little resets allow them to maintain possession under tough conditions. Disc rolls out. Fresnel will bring it to the front cone. I really like that pull in these conditions. Pinning the offense back. Man D. Dropped. Great Britain yet to complete a pass. Canner. Joy. No mark. Levy. Sherwood. Bayless. Foul call. Fresnel calling Sherwood on the push-off. Sherwood with the disc. At the brick. Joy. Bayless. Win. Levy goes low for the backhand by Win. Can't hang on. Fresnel slow to the disc. Horizontal set. Canner on Ford in the middle of the field. Gordon. Ford. Fresnel. And Ford just puts it in the ground. Canner wants to run the fast break. Nice floater to Cochran, defended by Gordon. Marty Cochran. Team USA 3. Great Britain 0. And the British are absolutely reeling behind a slew of unforced errors.
I think maybe a late game or just before the game wind change may have affected those first few passes, along with just the natural jitters that you get from being in your first finals ever.
Captain Scone trying to right the ship for his young team. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. Early going here in the men's final. USA up 3-0. Great Britain
Just struggling on offense.
and it's unforced errors.
It is.
drops.
It's drops, throwaways. You see the beginnings of their offense, but we really haven't seen them complete.
More than 2 passes in a row.
Right, and right now they're sitting on 4 turnovers and 4 completed passes for the game. I mean, that's a startling statistic and not one you can overcome easily.
Now the wind on the field is again a weird, nasty, swirling wind. The stands and the gaps causing some weird stuff. But Revolver's moving the disc fine in these conditions. I have to go back. A young, inexperienced team on the biggest stage the Great Britain's ever been on, surely playing a role in some of these early, unforced mistakes. Credit Revolver, though. They have done what you should do in that situation, which is bank them.
Yeah, and they've done it. The contrast between the two offenses, I think, is stark here, especially in these conditions. Great Britain, big lane cutters, whether they're a horizontal or a vertical, they want to get that forward pass off. And it's on that pass, either the long swing to set it up, or on that forward pass that they've had some issues. Revolver, on the other hand, totally content here to dink it around with 10 and 15-yard passes.
Furnell, Schumacher, easy. And Great Britain's on the board.
That's exactly what they
3-1.
need.
And I love that even as they're struggling, they say, hey, what are we about? The long ball.
Into the teeth of the beast.
Here's the shot from Furnell. Wind just gets caught, kind of too much separation, gets caught napping. Schumacher goes right by him. Great shot from Furnell.
Great throw.
3-1. Now, it's our first opportunity to see the British on D. They really are a man-to-man team.
They really are. Talking to their captain coach, Sean Scone, he did describe that this team's been together for 18 months now. They have a lot in their back pocket, but
they have some junk sets that we're going to see today.
But I agree with you. The makeup of what, when the game is on the line, what they're going to do is play that nasty man defense and swarm the disc when they get a pop-up.
They want to front these Revolver cutters, force Revolver to throw a jump ball, which Revolver's shown themselves absolutely willing to do, and then attack the disc. McCartney on Watson. Watson goes out. Schlachet. Cahill. Watson. Equipment.
I think Bart might have called
You stepped on my shoe.
foul there. You stepped on my shoe. Now let me fix it. It looked like his heel popped out.
Side stack. Wiseman in the lane. Dahl on Kittredge. Watson reaches to Wiseman. Great late adjustment by Wiseman. No chance for Penny.
And a really nice throw there from Bart Watson. Actually, the throw that I think has become his trademark on this Revolver team. Kind of an edgy, but
Floater.
with a lot of touch flick.
And
especially when it's in the wind to Josh Wiseman, he puts enough spin on it that can hold. The bottom almost drops out of it.
It does drop out.
But it comes right to Josh Wiseman.
And Wiseman makes a nice adjustment at the end. USA 4, Great Britain 1. USA scoring without a turn on their first offensive set of the game. Back on D. Very similar line that we've seen from Team USA here. Canner, Cochran, Taylor, Joy, Kawoka. Russell Wynn got a haircut this week.
He did.
If you watch the earlier broadcasts, he had that giant fro, made him real easy to pick out.
He still stands out, but yes.
He'll have to do it with his play now.
He'll have to do it with his play. His running style too. You can see him with big strides running all over the field.
Base O-line for Great Britain. Furnell. Gordon. Ford. Schumacher.
Short pull there.
Down. Tanner taps it dead just shy of midfield. Furnell to pick up. Flanked by Gibert. Ford going out. Parslow with the drop. Joy quickly in transition. Great reset D by Great Britain. Joy, high count bailout. Gordon, Cochran, Gordon with position. Nice job by Ollie Gordon. McDowell finds Gordon.
And Sam Canner's calling a travel from a long ways away.
Comes back to McDowell. Marked by Wynn. Gordon. McDowell. Ford. Schumacher going out. Look for a shot here. Nice help D from Ashlyn Joy off the backside. Travel call. It's not a stoppage here at Whiff-Diff. McDowell finds Gibert. Schumacher. Ford. Looks for Gibert. Too far. Not accounting for the wind.
Such a tough throw. Very, very, very small window there. I think even on a calm day.
That's a tough shot.
That is a tough shot.
I like when Great Britain takes a shot from 50, 60, 70 yards. I'm not as much of a fan of that shot from 30 yards out. Trust in your ability to possess and work in from that distance. Joy, marked by Parslow. Great Britain switching. They play a nice flexible man D. Joy. Taylor. Cochran way up high, drops it. Great Britain's going to slow it down.
Despite the turnover there, Mac Taylor did something that I think we asked him to do at the beginning of this game, which is holster the big flick huck.
Yeah, he looked.
He had
Greenwood going out
with some steps, throws a big fake, uses it to get Martin Cochran open underneath. It doesn't work out.
Gibert, Furnell, great lefty backhand. Ollie Gordon in the crowd, flips it back, hits Kawoka in the head, but it's an accident. Shake hands, we're okay.
Whew.
Yeah, that can go the wrong way quick.
Yeah, that's one of those situations.
But Kawoka,
where just a simple
really
mistake.
Cool,
yeah,
really cool player. Look at this inside out from Furnell. Great catch. And the flip, not even looking, total accident, says sorry right away. Nice job going down the strong side against the mark by Great Britain. The lefty Gibert getting off that nice inside out, high release inside out downwind. And then Gordon with the nice finish from Furnell.
And here's Great Britain with another opportunity to showcase their D and try and make the revolver offense uncomfortable.
Tom James is out. Tom James been a huge piece as a defender and on the turn for Team USA in tennis shoes.
Such a cog.
I think that's part of why we've seen Mark Sherwood doing so much as a handler is to fill in for, he's trying to carry the load for both himself and Tom James at the same time. Nice roll pull from Great Britain. It's going to pin USA on the sideline. Cahill, marked by Scone. Miscommunication. D at midfield. Stanley. Bevan. Dropped. Given right back. Watson. And Bart Watson just stares down the lane, never looks at his reset Simon. Frazier. Bevan. Drops
Second
it and
effort.
catches it. And then he takes a shot. Too far. Tough throw there. Trying to reach Harris. Two turns already. One from Cahill, one from Watson. It's inconsistent play again. It's almost an uncertainty about when to have motion and when to hold it. Rasmussen. Nice poach help. Finds Watson though. Anderson. To Kittredge. Whoo! Anderson getting away with a tough low throw. A lot of speed though from Kittredge.
I mean, his breakaway there gets him 20 yards.
Yeah.
That's, at a certain point, I don't think Harris is looking anymore. I mean, he knows he's burned so bad.
Here's the shot from Watson, that same
But
nice
just
forehand.
And off screen,
Where's
Bo
Bo's
just Bo was
defender?
gone.
Yeah. Something the British did there, that point, really nicely, up until the moment Watson got it, is sag off of the resets to clog those throwing lanes. Once Watson caught it in midfield, all those handler defenders that are helping on the isolation sets for Team USA, they stay back with their marks. They don't pursue the disc downfield. That gives Watson a wide open field. With Watson in midfield playing catch with Anderson and Kittredge. That's tough.
That is tough. And Great Britain got a lot of what they wanted at that point.
Yeah. They had two chances.
They had chances, but they can't convert even with a short field. You know, that's a tough situation. But at a certain point, you're down some breaks. Your D team has to come through for you. I like the mentality to say, great, we made them work. But I also think at a certain point, you got to bank those.
Travis marking Gibert. A lot of motion. I think trying to free forward, coming under down a central lane. Just generates a pick. Gibert, gonna go to forward. Gibert. Furnell. Too far. Furnell trying to reach Brooks.
And both teams struggling a little bit, in particular Great Britain, with this, I guess what I would term downfield, or downwind rather, flick. Bart Watson's figured it out.
Bart Watson is not having any trouble with it.
And it's a ton of spin and more edge, and he throws it higher. That's just a veteran knowing the wind and knowing his receivers. Great Britain can't quite figure it out right now.
Canner. Casino. Poachy D. Joy slices through. Great throw. Joy reaching to Travis. Travis wide open, forward in pursuit. Great catch by Travis in the open field. Finds Mac Taylor. He's got Chapman. 6-2. what USA did there that Great Britain has struggled with in windy conditions is throw a reset off the sideline. Canner comes up to Coffin corner, 70 yards to go, upwind, trapped forehand, and the first thing he does is complete a reset backhand to Casino in the middle. Now, Casino's gonna make a great inside out here to Joy.
But he's got the space to operate.
Because of that backhand from Canner to start the whole sequence off. Today, we're already seeing it from Great Britain. They're struggling to get resets, particularly their D team. When we watched them play Team Japan earlier this week, under windy conditions, they had an incredibly difficult time moving it off the sideline and maintaining possession. You're going to be able to throw some jump balls and be successful. I think Great Britain's going to have to find a way to be a little more multi-dimensional to stay in this game.
And what I think is worth highlighting there, Canner does it immediately.
Yeah.
Because the cadence of the defense generally is there, you know, slough off the handler for a second in the middle of the field, maybe to stall 2, and then tighten down as soon as the thrower turns to him. Canner catches the D sleeping by throwing that throw immediately.
Brooks, not marked. Furnell. Schumacher. High ball. Cahill. Just an execution error. Cahill. Cahill and Kittredge in this point. Sherwood. Kittredge, did he get it?
He did.
They say that he did. Wow, such a smart throw from Kittredge. Joy in pursuit, sits in the wind. Kittredge. Inside out to Levy. 7-2. Two beautiful forehands from Kittredge. The one to Kawoken especially. What a smart throw. To throw the little high forehand right over the head of the British defender. And then the finish to Levy, absolutely sensational downwind.
Not an easy throw by any means. And I think that was a case where maybe beautiful isn't the word that I would use, but effective. Bo knows what he has, and he throws it perfectly.
When I'm saying beautiful, it's not the technical beauty.
I know what you meant, but what a choice.
But the vision
The vision to be able to see it and execute.
And there's the finish to Levy. Great point for Kittredge. 7-2, USA. Team USA has really spread it around. So far, 7 points scored. Those 14 combined goals and assists have gone to 12 different players.
And we know that they bring a balanced attack.
Particularly once their D team starts rolling.
And I think that might be a big part of it. There are only, I think, 2 of those goals scored by the O team, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And the D team, you know, their makeup is much more of a churner kind of makeup. The O team, you kind of think about their stars, Robbie Cahill, Bo Kittredge, Watson, who's thrown a couple of great hucks this game. Those guys do a lot of work for that side, but on the D, it's a lot more faceless army, churner kind of offense.
Dropped. Dathan at midfield. Canner wants to slow the offense, calls Casino off. Taylor.
Once again, Canner throwing the middle, the center pass
just
immediately.
Sitting it right away. Taylor around using the wind to shelf it out for Canner. Canner back to Taylor. And Mac Taylor comes up hobbling. I think he had to reach a little on that throw from Canner. We're going to see it here.
You know, the word is that Mac Taylor has some kind of knock on his knee, might be sort of a musculature thing. And we were speaking to this before. What that robs you of is your ability to explode. And I think you see it right there. Canner kind of throws out wide. Taylor's a big body.
Totally catchable throw.
Totally
but it's
catchable
not
throw.
Spot on.
But he has to plant hard and explode in the sort of the other direction than what his body was going in. And he comes up wincing.
And wisely, Revolver brings in Cahill. Nice D from Schumacher. Bayless. Cahill, what
Nice
a catch.
grab.
Incredible hands from Cahill. Somehow holds on to that, finds Canner. Canner right back to Cahill. Such a great job of resetting the offense. Great layout from Canner. Casino drops it up high. That's a break Great Britain needed. Really liking the offense that Sam Canner's bringing there of just
His
moving
motion
the
is
disc.
awesome.
And the rhythm, he's playing at a different rhythm. He's throwing swings on 1 and 2, and that's generating great stuff. Here's a huck. Canner gets a chance to play D. Great catch by Dathan. Dathan flips Schumacher. Dathan, what a catch.
What a catch. And I think you saw Ford there finally emulate Bart Watson a little bit on that throw. I mean, Justin Ford, an amazing thrower in his own right, but figured out how to throw that downwind flick a little bit with a little bit more edge on it and
Edge
higher,
high.
so that the spin can just carry it out into space for the receiver.
And Schumacher following the play for the goal.
Great grab.
Great play. Nice concentration from Dathan.
Again, Great Britain, we've seen flashes of great defense here, but they
Defense
have a chance to
and the big play.
just set the tone. You know, this is a team that I think needs to have the shortest memory
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
Their D team needs to come in here like this is the last point that they're ever going to play together, and they need to do that on their own team too, really. Great Britain's going to need to do that for the rest of the points of this game.
Nice upwind pull. Schlag to Watson. Kittredge in space. Defended by Dahl. Kittredge's going to slip in the middle of the field. Watson's going to reach for him. Anderson not quite able to get there. Scone. And Kittredge, a huge block on Dahl. Cahill with the disc on the cone. High count, floater to Kittredge. Nice space throw from Cahill. To give and go, yep, here it is, but nope. Wiseman
And Josh
drops it.
Wiseman, I think he should have laid out.
Yep, but I think that there's a foul call. You know, Kittredge went to run that give and go move, and his defender does a really nice job of bumping him really hard as he comes across the face of the disc.
There's the throw.
There's the bump right there. A lot of discussion here on the sidelines.
I want to go back
To the
earlier
block?
in that point. The
Yeah.
block by Bo Kittredge, but actually, in my opinion, more interesting the matchup. Bo Kittredge, Jolyon Dahl, spent a lot of years playing together with Mama Bird first, and then playing together on Johnny Bravo.
Which is just to explain, Mama Bird is University of Colorado. There's the block by Kittredge on Dahl. And then Johnny Bravo, the Colorado Open Club team.
Those two players know each other really well. They've spent a lot of seasons guarding each other.
And that I think that rivalry brings out a greater intensity from
From Bo
Kittredge
Kittredge.
than he would bring to even to covering somebody like Justin Ford or
Definitely.
McCartney. It is Great Britain's disc. Nice catch by Abrams. Back to McCartney. Dahl Abrams. Here's the lane cutting offense from the Brits. Call. Travel, perhaps. I think it's going to come back to Abrams. Middle of the field, 50 yards to go. The Brits are really getting a little momentum there on offense.
Their throws are looking more crisp in this wind.
I think it's easier to throw upwind than downwind. Cahill with the catch block.
Robbie Cahill
Calls a timeout.
is just stone cold. That is
Who else gets that block and doesn't react?
That is a heartless block right there. The catch block, almost the most demoralizing defensive play that you can hand down to an offensive player that you're guarding. And cool, collected, surveys the field. Robbie Cahill takes a timeout.
We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. USA 7, Great Britain 3. USA with a chance to break. 21 turnovers so far this game, only 3 blocks, but the most recent block by Robbie Cahill, an absolutely sensational catch block. He takes the timeout to set up his offense. No surprise, Bo Kittredge in isolation. Nice D by Dahl. Schlag. Cahill. Wiseman in isolation. Travel's going to be called here. Saying he turned the corner.
Really wonderful mark there, too. With Bo in isolation, Captain Sean Scone puts a great mark on Robbie Cahill, denying the backhand around.
Cahill. Wiseman. British have pushed USA back. Incredible forehand and outs. Wiseman. Watson. Schlachet. Wiseman, not known for
great throw. How did Great Britain lose track of Bart Watson that badly?
I think it's just so far on the weak side. You know, McCartney, I think it just gets caught ball watching.
Yeah, and that really is what it is. The revolver dominator offense. It's chewing up yards. It's moving across the field. The angles are changing constantly.
Watson hasn't even moved.
Watson doesn't
about 5
move.
Passes.
Everybody in the end zone on defense gets caught watching the ball. Bart Watson knows how to take advantage of that situation.
Wiseman, not known for being a technical thrower, does a great job of using the wind, downwind, to help him throw that. Can I call it an Oyo?
You can call it an Oyo.
The outside in, inside out. Okay. Trying to go to half here. Team USA up 8-3 on Great Britain. 2 big defensive players out. 3 big defensive players out for Team USA. Double wide from Texas superstar Kurt Gibson out. Mac Taylor out. Tom James out. And yet Team USA dominating this game defensively.
And they've really had a lot of help from this Great Britain offense. I feel the energy coming now. I think Great Britain's going to get on a roll. And here we see them completing a great string of passes, moving the disc downfield in big chunks. They haven't put that kind of show together yet at the beginning part of this game. Hopefully it can be a sustained effort.
Winch finally drops off the mark. Hammer from Ford.
That was
great
awesome.
Bailout throw across the field. Dumps at a bit confused. Gibert
going for the goal.
Going for the goal over the catch. Drops it. Joy. Sherwood wide open deep. Joy holds it. Sherwood back under. Canner. To Chapman. Canner with a great backhand huck. Travel called. It had been a great finish, but it's coming all the way back. That matchup between Fresnel and Kanter. Fresnel bringing the lumber. Kanter fights it off, gets free up line. Right here, big huck. Do you see a travel there, Chase?
I'm not sure I do.
I don't see one on the throw. There might have been one on the footwork prior to the release. Nope. Fresnel has waved off the call. It's coming back to Chapman. Tough spot here for Great Britain. They've got a 3-on-2. Cochran's got Wynn. Great Britain recovers. Joy.
And Great Britain has dissolved into a zone.
We've seen this before. It's an amazing transition from Great Britain, but they're not getting any pressure on the mark. Joy on the doorstep. Sherwood. Joy. 1 yard out. Sherwood. Joy. 1 step away. Sherwood. Kanter. Defenders everywhere. Sherwood. There. Is he? And he is. And we could see as
Just
Sherwood,
inching,
Joy, and Kanter begin to react, they realize the way the defense is set up, and they start hopping on the catch. We'll see here. Watch Sherwood here. He's going to hop on the catch. Hop on the catch. Hop on the catch. Great way to adapt by the American D team. Those 3 handlers saying, we only need a yard. They're going to give us a yard on the hop step. They just walk it in. Nothing but little backhands.
USA, an incredibly strong performance in that half. I think we have not seen the best out of Great Britain yet.
Certainly we haven't.
And one thing they have going for them, I think, along the lines of embracing that underdog status. When you're
Down
in that
9-3,
down
definitely gives you a
9-3,
chance
and when
to
you're
embrace.
when you're going into this huddle at halftime, I think what you draw upon is the community that they've built for themselves over the last 18 months or 2 years, the sort of relationships that they've built here at this tournament, and that kind of shared experience, and the fact that neither of these teams is going to be in existence in 2 hours. This is the last time all of these players get to play together. They need to go out and go have some fun and get rid of those nerves, make some big plays like they know how to, but it starts with just embracing each other and the team culture that they built here at this tournament.
Halftime, USA 9, Great Britain 3. Great speech, Chase.
Thank
We'll
you,
be
Lou.
back in a moment. Welcome back to Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. Halftime just ending in the men's finals. Team USA with a commanding 9-3 lead over Great Britain. They've done this, Chase, with their ability to possess the disc under windy circumstances. And with some big names on the sideline. Gibson brought in from Texas to provide some handling on the turn, out. Mac Taylor, out. Tom James, out. We've got Mark Sherwood, not unfamiliar to that role of possessing the disc, but really it's been a great first half from Sam Kanter, using his backhand, short throws, long throws, and really propelling this Team USA offense.
And what I love about what Sam Kanter has done is he's using his legs to get it done. Of course, he has the flick, he has the backhand, everyone out here has it, but he's been able to throw the backhand a lot more because he's putting really hard work in with his legs. First. On the other side, Great Britain searching for something. And at halftime,
an emotional answer is what they're searching for.
And they need an emotional answer. And I actually like the adjustment, which at halftime was they're running sprints in the end zone. They need to get to a place where they just don't think about anything.
They just don't care.
They just don't care. And they're in that sort of tired but very athletic zone, And I think running sprints is one answer to that problem.
They play zone. Nice adjustment from Britton. Watson on the sideline. The lefty scooper to Cahill. Hammer to Simon. Anderson. Simon. McCartney sets the trap. Little touch foul, I think, from Simon. Disc in play. Simon, trapped.
Nice
Scoober
scooper.
Schlag. Cahill. Watson. That lefty scooper again. Not quite as nice that time, but Cahill comes down and gets it. Schlag. Transition to man from Great Britain. Watson. Anderson working underneath, drops it.
A
Disc
little
the
flutter
disc
there.
fluttered in the wind. McCartney bobbles and catches it. Looks deep to the big Harris. Harris defended by Krichich. Great battle between the big men. Harris comes away with it. Dumps. Lefty to Harris. Absolute miscommunication there. Great battle from Harris. Great finish. And then he and Captain Scone, just a miscommunication.
I think Sean Scone just had the tunnel vision.
Was like,
I think he has
pumped.
to give Harris one look
and then
hit the
then
dump swing.
Yeah. Okay, the zone sets again. Schlag up inside the cup. Cahill. Schlag. Dahl's gonna need to step up and stop it. He does. Schlag gets stomped by McCartney.
Just mauled.
You see kind of fighting through the double team there by McCartney and Scone. He just gets pounded. Cahill up inside again. He's got Schlag for yards. Takes it. Jolyon Dahl steps up to stop it. Cahill gets it. Goes hammer weak side to Watson. So much room there as the zone had collapsed on the short ball. Cahill at midfield. Kittredge. Cahill. Schlag. Watson around the horn for Team USA. Here comes a transition. In the transition, Watson finds Simon on the far side of the field. Cahill on the interior. Cahill defended by Abrams.
Transition to man here.
Simon. Simon finds Kittredge. Travel called.
And again, we see the Kittredge-Dahl matchup here.
A lot of discussion about how things should be set up. Bevan and Simon in conversation. Kittredge with the disc. Kittredge with the forehand into space. Great upwind forehand. Finds Anderson.
A miscommunication there between Jolyon Dahl and Clark.
About
About the mark. I think Clark was not expecting Jolyon Dahl to squeeze back around and force forehand, and released.
Releases Anderson into
Releases,
space.
yeah.
Great, again, great throw by Kittredge. Using the wind, allows him to get that forehand swing to sit into space. So Great Britain gets a chance. Miscommunication. Gives the disc back. Team USA punches it in on the second opportunity. 10-3. Gets the D on the field.
Great Britain with another opportunity here, I think, just to relax and get in a rhythm of playmaking.
McDowell. Too far for Schumacher. Levy quickly in transition. Sherwood. Greenwood, great grab. Levy. Sherwood. Wants the reset, Levy. Too far for Wynn. The Wynn just kind of gets a hold of it, pushes it out and away from Russell Wynn. Great Britain with a second opportunity, Gibert to pick up.
Wynn and Levy there pushed into kind of a tough position to play handler.
Ford. Schumacher, backpack from Travis. Back in play, Schumacher. Trouble. Wow.
Nice throw.
Finds Brooks on the sideline. Ford. Foul call here. Little chess match there between Wynn and Ford. Sidelines telling Wynn to step off on the mark. Schumacher. Stranded. Throws the jump ball. Great catch by Brooks.
This might be the spark that Great Britain needs. What I like about this offense, when it's working well, is the trust that it has
In its receivers.
in its receivers.
What
I don't like
is the failure to reset.
is the failure to reset and the unfortunate position that they put themselves in when they're a little bit timid with their downfield looks, in particular on the unders in the wind. You know, I mean, look at that play. A ton of faith.
Yeah.
Throws a really what is a great throw to a receiver with some separation.
Into that tough upwind corner.
Into the tough upwind corner. The turnovers that we see in that point on just dicey kind of almost inside out or straight away looks going down the field to somebody running straight at the disc. In the wind, there's just so much opportunity for the thrower to double pump it,
or
for it to flutter in the wind. Great Britain is great when they're looking away. Less so if
When
they
they're
can get
coming
forced
back.
underneath.
And part of that is that they're having to throw those underneath cuts all on the open side into the teeth of the defense because they continue to struggle to move the disc around to the weak side of the field. Dahl with the roller. Cahill. Zone from Great Britain. Watson. Cahill. Schlag. Watson. Trapped. Dropped by Cahill. Great Britain opportunity to break. And they slow it down.
Short field here. This is when you really want your offense to have just stellar dump swing.
Yeah. Penny looks for Frazier. Great D by Wiseman. Inside out.
Call on the
Foul
throw,
on
it looks.
Rasmussen? Think so. Never once looks at his reset. It's
No,
a
turnover.
Cahill.
And for as much faith as there is on this Great Britain team in their deep game, not a lot of faith on that reset.
Wiseman. Watson. Cahill. Schlag. Watson, nice throw through the cup. Watson looking at Rasmussen on the far side of the field. Cahill. Penny in pursuit though. Watson. Cahill. Wiseman drops it.
Both these teams just struggling with throwing and catching here to a degree.
The wind is really causing them problems.
The wind, the swirly wind along that bleacher.
The bleacher sideline. Great D by Rasmussen. Penny with a huge layout. 10 yards out, defended by Rasmussen. High forehand. Goal, Great Britain, and a break. Maybe the zone is the answer.
It may be. In this direction, I think.
Going the other way.
Certainly it's working. And that deep shot in that direction coming from USA throwing against the wind, that flick huck is going to be just excruciatingly hard.
Yeah, you're either going to have to put it on a rope. If you hang it at all, the bigger deep's likely to get it.
And I'm not even sure it can get far enough in that swirly wind to really be a punt. You see Team USA collecting themselves here. If I'm Britain, I'm going man.
Why?
Partly
Great
the direction.
catch by Penny. And then the high forehand to finish.
I like mixing it up. I think right now you saw the USA coach, Gesquire, walking with his team, making strategic adjustments. I think Great Britain got one there and actually forced a few turns with a lot of help from the wind. But I think going this direction, you come with something else. You mix it up.
Okay. So we see McCartney coming down and Scone. They are going to play the zone. Bit of a 2-3-2 look from the Brits. Simon, Cahill. Cahill. Simon. Cahill. Simon and Cahill just moving it back and forth, looking for some sort of a seam here in this British zone. The trap. Back to Cahill. Simon. Kittredge. Little progress there involving Kittredge. Cahill.
Big
That's the break they needed.
Break.
Wiseman. Back to Kittredge. Moves into his in zone O position. Cahill to Wiseman. Around. Dropped.
The defender might have gotten a little tiny piece there.
Schlachtet still should hold on to that one.
I think Sean Scone got a piece.
The big lefty McCartney walking slowly to the disc. Here's the bid. Yeah, maybe he did.
Oof, or just pushed the wind around it.
It's the little things that separate a catch from a block. McCartney leads it too far. Schlachtet with the block.
Britain can't make good on the hard work they put in here.
Cahill. Kittredge. Cahill running the give and go. Cahill.
And Scone's going to call a foul.
Kittredge stepped on his foot. Forehand force. Kittredge. Wiseman. Wants the reset. Kittredge. Wiseman. USA using that give and go on the goal line so effectively.
I'm increasingly impressed with Bo Kittrich's ability to play the two-man game. And he does it in a variety of different ways, using his quickness and speed, but also, you know, choosing to get, instead of, see, you see Sean Scone jump off, anticipating the upline cut from Bo Kittridge.
You have to respect
so he comes right around, gets the little dishy, and it's a give-go the other way.
Yeah. Setting his guy up to be open by catching the open side dump so that the marker is on the back of Wiseman. Wiseman just goes quickly cone side goal.
And every time I see him, I feel like Bo's game gets more fluid and more natural. He uses his strengths, he minimizes his weaknesses, and he really starts to understand where he can be effective. That, I think, is a perfect example of him really understanding what he brings to this revolver line.
And I like this from Wiseman. Just leaving nothing to chance, comes out. He's playing great, and yet he's working on his throws on the sidelines between points, just trying to get touches in the wind. And we see for the first point today, Kurt Gibson is going to test that knee. A lot of rumors swirling about Kurt Gibson's knee, possibly a PCL tear. He's going to test it out here for Team USA. Draws a tough matchup in the speedy Schumacher. Nice forehand to Dathan. Great poach by Ashlyn Joy. Dathan tried to hold it to Ford, couldn't, turns it over. Total confusion from the Team USA handler set.
One of the things about Kurt Gibson here on this offense, he brings a different style. He is a stand-up, find a receiver kind of guy.
Kawaoka, second big forehand of the game down that sideline. Sherwood, wow. Bill Kawaoka, two huge forehands down that backhand sideline into the wind.
That's a great throw.
Gibson, and look at this forehand. Out into space for the speedster Sherwood.
Right at first, you see Sherwood second guessing whether that was going to get there, realize that that was a rip, and just take off.
Yeah. Right. As he's going deep, he probably looks back and thinks it's not coming, and then it comes. What a throw. Another defender coming off of injured reserve for Team USA. Number 3, Tom James in.
He started this game in sneakers.
And we watched him down here underneath the broadcast booth. He spent 30, 45 minutes taping, retaping, testing that ankle, running sprints, running cuts. The absolutely interesting thing about that, Revolver is in such control of this game. Both Gibson and James, in a way, they're not needed.
I think it's a personal pride issue. Not issue. I mean, credit those guys for having a lot of courage with the club season looming here. Revolver coming to UPA Nationals or USAU Nationals, the defending team and potentially the favorite, and those guys taking a shot for USA pride.
Furnell turns it over. James checks it in. Sherwood. Furnell almost on the poach block. Casino. Levy. Inside, nice pickup by Casino. Flip to Sherwood. I think we're going to have a foul call on a push-off by Furnell. Nice work by Levy and Casino to throw the brakes against a very aggressive reset D from the British.
And big marks.
Big marks. That forehand from Levy in particular, tough throw. Sherwood. Comes back. Casino. In discussion with the marker about the stall count. Leader to Sherwood. Great D on the stack by Great Britain. And the throw's short from Sherwood. Great block by Guibert. Really nice defensive stand from Great Britain there. Pressuring the resets.
Sherwood didn't see anything downfield.
He
Maybe
just threw
felt
this
like
through
he
short.
had an open swing.
Schumacher. Brooks. Dathan. Schumacher. Furnell on the sideline, drops it.
Worrying about the sideline.
4th turnover for Furnell in this game. Casino with the disc. Greenwood. Cochran drops it. Tough catch on the sideline.
Nice bid by Martin Cochran.
Gets 2 hands on it though.
Pressured by Ollie Gordon. And Great Britain now pretty much where they were when Furnell dropped it.
This
Stuck
is the
on a
game,
sideline.
This is the game that Great Britain wants, which is a defensive struggle where turning the disc over is okay. Schumacher, nice little lefty flip from Gordon. Again, trouble on the reset from Great Britain. Schumacher reaches for the end zone. Everybody collapses on it. Greenwood with the block.
I agree with you, Lou, but the turnovers that we've seen from them.
Casino on the huck to Bayless, defended by Schumacher. And the size of Schumacher, too much for Bayless. Gordon with the disc. Foul. Great hustle play by Mark Sherwood. Comes flying in to get the mark on Gordon and make sure that Great Britain can't get easy yards in transition. McDowell. Inside. Levy. I think Parcel's calling foul on the Levy block.
That looked,
Can't see it.
oof. Looked pretty clean.
Parcelo's standing and waiting for the disc. I think he's going to claim that Levy came through him. A lot of contact there. Both players adjusting to the disc at the last minute.
Rarely have I seen this get resolved. I think the only way,
That
you
we're
know,
gonna be
generally it would go
playing
back.
again?
Well, the only way that we're going to get playing is going to be to send it back, and indeed that's what happened.
Comes back to McDowell on the sideline. Flanked by Schumacher. High back end of Schumacher, too far. Bayless looks, fast break, James. Sherwood. Greenwood. Robin
Steals
Cochran
one
to the
from
goal.
Martin
It's coming
Cochran.
back on a travel call on Mark Sherwood. Sherwood.
And Casino's moving early.
Flanked by Levy and
Violation.
James. James. Levy. James. Levy. James. James, miscommunication with Bayless and Levy, throws it right to Schumacher.
Levy got a little lazy there, didn't set up real well, or Bayless didn't communicate that he wanted to be the second in line there. Just some general confusion from the USA handler set.
On a long, quite sloppy point, handler Guibert wants to take a break, get a rest, get a plan. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. USA 12, Great Britain 5. A really sloppy point chase. Great Britain gets it back for their 4th possession of the point. Guibert calls timeout to get the troops organized.
I like that timeout call, but the biggest thing here, in my opinion, is that there's low energy. And right now, Team USA is feeding that kind of goofy, low energy type of game. They know they can just bleed out the clock. They're bringing in their injured reserves. They're not having to fight. They're just content to let Great Britain give them turns and then have a go. They're not even counting their turnovers now. Great Britain needs to get something, and it has to be an attitude adjustment down on the field here.
Schumacher to Parslow. Lots of defenders in the area. Cochran gets a piece. James catches it. Sherwood. Greenwood. Levy. Bayless. Bayless to Cochran. Can he get there? He will. Great catch by the big man. What a shot from number 8, Patrick Bayless. Taking a page from the Bart Watson forehand.
A lot of edge on that one.
Edge and air. Sits it up nicely and stable. The big man.
Despite having room to run, Martin Cochran opts for his sort of natural state, which is a big jump. Comes down with a nice grab.
Here's the shot from Bayless.
And
wow.
Instead of taking 3 more steps,
and pancaking it,
Martin Cochran goes offhand. That's
For
an
the
exclamation point right there.
13-5 USA. And the D in transition for Great Britain, very ragged. They'd called a timeout. They had a great opportunity. Once again, Great Britain getting in trouble on that sideline. Without a good plan to work out of the trap, they end up throwing the jump ball to Parslow. 3 American defenders in the vicinity.
And I was actually a little disappointed to see Ollie Gordon in the vicinity,
But not
see him going strong for that. Tom James caught that D a couple feet from him, and I think there was easily, and he was at a jog, I think there was easily enough time for him to go get in the mix. It's a tough call. You want to be there maybe for the trash. You want to put yourself in good position in case your teammate catches it. But I think, and you don't want to hurt anybody going into a pile, but I think that kind of effort has been a little lacking here from Great Britain.
Harris drops it, defended by Travis. Nice block by Travis. Great pressure there. Cahill in on the turn. Joy. Cahill. Heavy lumber from Penny. Win on the under. Heavy lumber. Those are some marks from Great Britain. Just trying to find something, anything to get some energy. Cahill. Canner. Travis. Kawoka. Joy. Win. Penny delivers a hit. But it's a goal.
But agrees it's a goal.
14-5 USA.
And Great Britain just looks dazed here. In the middle of that point, 2 plays sort of back-to-back in a row that highlighted to me what just an incredible and poised player Robbie Cahill is. Great Britain decides to bring Lumber on the mark. Robbie Cahill stands up the mark, takes a big hit coming across, and plays right through it. Throws it to his teammate, takes the same hit, stops the play. And I think, you know, Robbie is so powerful. He can absorb that hit and keep his balance.
Yeah.
And when the marker hits him being able to absorb that impact actually sets the mark off balance, and he can throw right through it. So many players are content to take that foul and let the defense really dictate the pace of the game there. Robbie Cahill
just shrugs it off.
Shrugs it right off.
Reaching for Ford, too far. Sherwood. Got Cochran going away. Defender on the poach. Floater. Casino able to get there. Cochran coming under, but Guibert steps in from the weak side.
He was concerned there.
Tough to throw a 35-yard under down the middle of the field without traffic. Gale. Gordon. Great bid by Cochran. Again, troubles in the reset. Gordon not able to reach Guibert on the big forehand inside out. Simon walking to the disc. He's got Gordon going deep. He's going to reach for him. Greenwood, great block by Guibert. That throw was just a little bit short, and it gave Guibert the window to make a nice play.
He made a great play. There was contact on the play, and Greenwood comes out for an injury sub. I think he's just being safe there.
Just shaken. Got landed on.
What a layout.
Levy's going to come in for the injured Greenwood. Gale with the disc. Ford. Ooh, kick block foul from Sherwood. As Ford tries to reach around for the backhand huck. Ooh. And then Casino steps on his hand. Rough 30 seconds for the young British star. Lots of space in front of Justin Ford. Tries the inside out to McDowell, can't get there. Great defense by Sherwood, Levy, and Casino. Inside out to Levy. Can't reach the backhand side. Shovel to Simon. Sherwood on the goal line. Lots of confusion from the Americans, but they find joy. Around to Simon up high. Still confusion on the reset. Foul called. Boy,
Oof.
Levy and Joy and Simon
Really
not on the
tight
same
quarters
page.
there, no.
Tight quarters, and Simon kind of gets lucky to be fouled there, and
takes a timeout.
I think that's a really smart timeout. As much sort of structural difficulty there is they're having with their handler set and reaching those cutters downfield, It's a nice time to take a break, make a plan, get a goal. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Next Gen Ultimate's coverage of the 2012 WIFDIF World Ultimate and Guts Championships. United States looking for gold in a commanding performance, up 14-5 on Great Britain. Adam Simon with the disc at the attacking brick, vertical stack for the Americans. Looks for Bayless on the inside out, finds him. Bayless on the doorstep. Reset to Simon. Back to Bayless.
Goal USA.
Goal USA. That is an excellent use of a timeout to set up some certainty and clarity. Simon with two nice breaks, the forehand inside out, and then the backhand around for the game winner, for the goal. Here it is. Bayless slips the D right at the cone. 15-5 USA.
The best part about that was that although the first throw may have been what they talked about in the huddle,
yeah,
it was the structural adjustment that they made, giving room to the handler set, clarity to the downfield structure, that allowed eventually the goal to happen. Adam Simon can't run the field the way he did on that point without taking that timeout and fixing the structure.
Yeah, because they could have done that at any point had they had a little more clarity with their structure.
Exactly, and he just wisely takes a timeout. He may have even talked in the huddle about, hey, I want to throw my inside out, but it's subsequently the structure that gets set up by Revolver Team USA that allows him to get the next pass and throw the easy goal.
USA pulling 2 points from a world's title for Revolver. Guibert. Furnell. Chase, where does this put Revolver as we discuss?
Oh,
great D by Wynn.
Great D by Wynn, but I think he missed it.
And gave Ford a chance?
Just gave Ford a chance. Ford drops it.
Where does this championship put Revolver in the discussion of all-time great teams? Great shot from Joy to Chapman.
Well, Lou, I think.
Is he in?
Great Britain says goal.
Great Britain says goal. Second
Revolver,
goal for Russell Wynn.
Revolver now, I think, is.
Here's the shovel pass from Chapman.
Has certainly been in the conversation.
Since they won their 2 national titles.
Since they won the 2 national titles in the World Club Championships. In Prague. What they don't have, or what they haven't proven, is the ability, the way some of the other teams on that list, say a Dog or a New York, what those teams have recently over this Revolver team is the span of their greatness.
Sure.
Those New York teams.
They do join only 3 teams, New York, Dog, and Furious George / Team Canada. In that select group to have a UPA / USA Ultimate national title, a World's Club title, and a true World's title. That's a short list of some great teams.
It is, but Revolver's done it in just a flash of brilliance.
2 years, really.
Really 2 years, and I think what those New York teams and Boston teams were able to do is not just win it with one team, one group of guys, the way this Revolver team really has kind of coalesced, again, around maybe a top 3 or a top 4 kind of guys. But as on those Boston teams, as the first guard that won it started to retire or move into different sorts of positions, they brought in a few different players. I'm thinking of a Fortunat Mueller.
But the old guard for Boston was still doing it.
The old guard was still doing it, but the makeup of that team changed. And they were still institutionally able to overcome that change or evolve with that change.
Kittredge versus Gordon.
And that's what made
Kittredge misses.
Those teams, I think, really, the dynasties, clearly, and puts them, I think, ahead of Revolver on the list of all-time greats. However,
Well, just if you just look at sheer numbers of titles, New York and Dog stand out above everybody else.
and the quantity is important there.
Yeah.
And this is a backhanded way to say the same thing, but what is impressive to me is the longevity. It was a different era.
Yeah, they really benefited from great block by Joy. They really benefited from a lack of parity that Revolver has to compete against today. Kittredge, is he in? If the feet are down, Ford's going to say yes, and that's going to do it, folks. Team USA, 17, Great Britain 5. Your world champions here at the 2012 WIFDIF Ultimate and Guts Championships. The foot block by Joy. Sherwood. Kittredge.
Great presence of mind by Bo Kittredge.
4th assist for Mark Sherwood.
Lou, who's your player of the game?
I'm going to read you somebody's stat line. I want you to try to guess who it is. 3 assists, 2 goals, 1 nasty layout block on the dump, and 0 turnovers.
I'm going to tell you that that player is Bo Kittredge.
It is. And that's my player of the game. And I want to say one other great thing that Bo did. He brought an element of his game that we have not seen before, which is devastating in-zone offense.
Absolutely.
And poise as a thrower. How about you, Chase? Player of the game?
You know I love the big guys.
Yeah.
I love his attitude. I love the leadership that he brings to this Revolver squad, and he came up with some big blocks when he needed to, a gnarly catch deep. I love Martin Cochran.
Here's a big catch from him.
Several goals.
3 goals for him.
Came up with some big Ds in traffic when he needed to. Ran the lanes all day long. Martin Cochran, I think, one of those players not heralded in the top 3-4 of this team, but really getting it done with hard work. I love that kind of player.
Let's give some love to Great Britain. Really outclassed here. I think from a technical standpoint, we probably belabored their issues on the reset. They were a better team than they showed today. In their wins over Sweden, in their battle against Japan, and their win over Australia, they showed some real quality play that unfortunately we didn't get to see today. In part, I think, emotionally, they came into this game almost knowing that they were going to be happy to be silver medalists.
And they should be.
And they should be happy to be silver medalists.
They had a phenomenal run.
But when you go
but
into
we
a
could have seen
game
more.
happy to lose, you're setting yourself up to have trouble. And as the early part of that game got away from them and they had those unforced errors, that allowed that it's okay for us to lose kind of to creep in a little bit. But what a great tournament for Great Britain to get to this game. The best world's finish for any team from Great Britain, a silver medal, a fantastic accomplishment for these guys.
One thing that I am excited to hopefully see in the future, we've seen an influx in North American Ultimate in recent years of European players, of South American players, on occasion of
Japanese players.
The Next Gen Tour, a perfect example.
Sure.
Ollie Gordon showing a tremendous amount of, I think, growth from where his game was a year ago, able to make this squad and contribute on the field.
German handling star Philipp Haas will be joining the tour this year.
I am excited to see more of these kinds of European players, and in particular, I am going to be baffled if a club team can't pick up Justin Ford for the USAU series. Clearly there's some logistical issues there potentially. That guy is such a stud.
Chase, I want to take this opportunity. It's been an awesome week, a great week of Ultimate, but for you and I both, it has been an awesome week of broadcasting, but it's not just us. I want to give big shout outs to our camera crew, Aki Odera, Brian Bedford, Ian Lunger. You guys,
we're slaying it.
Man, and the Vin turned Vin Bui, controlling the board, getting it done with the replays, switching shots.
That man had it going on.
Did we leave anybody out?
Let's see. Oh.
That guy.
That guy. The Papa Bear.
Yeah, let's not mention he owes us money.
No, let's not.
All right.
Kevin Minderhout.
Folks, without Kevin Minderhout, there is
none
no
of this
Next
would
Gen
be
Ultimate.
possible. Big shout out to Kevin.
So for everyone here at Next Gen Ultimate, to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you so much for spending the week with us. We've had a great time. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Call me maybe.